So you've done a wonderful masterpiece of a watercolour painting and it goes all wrinkly and crinkly and you think, to heck with it, I'm never going to do watercolours again. Is that your problem? Well, I'm going to show you how to sort it out. But let's not talk about it. Let's do it. The problem that you have here is that when you put water on the paper, the fibres stretch and then when they dry, they shrink and they pull the paper tight and it all wrinkles and crinkles, and we don't want that at all. So how do we sort that out? Well, we stretch the paper. This is just photocopy paper. It's very cheap and this is exactly the same stuff. And what I'm going to do is get paper tape. This is gummed paper tape, so it's paper with sort of gum on the side, and I'm going to cut out 4 strips that are the right size. Now what I've got here is a damp cloth. It's not wet. I've got it wet and then I wrung it out so it's damp. And what I'm going to do is just kind of dampen the back of this very, very gently. Paper get damp. It's not wet. And then turn it over the other way. Then we can use this to wet the paper, and then I'm going to wipe that across there, and that kind of wets the gum on the paper tape, and this could be a little damper actually. And again I'm going to glue that down there, and then we get another one. I'm going to run that across there so that the glue just kind of gets dampened. You don't, if you go too hard and too fast, too wet, you will actually wipe off and wash off all the glue from the paper, which you don't want. And then that's all nicely done. Press it down and make sure it's all stuck, and when it's finished, lean it up against the wall to dry, and then go and have yourself a cup of tea. Now this one's drying out nice and fine, so I'm going to take this to the studio and do a little masterpiece on it and see how it comes out. Well, here I am in the studio with the usual overhead view, and I'm going to try and reproduce this masterpiece. And I know people ask me what materials I use. I'm using a really expensive Kolinsky sable brush, but it's seen better days, this one. So now I'm going to paint something similar to what I did before, and a nice smile and a nose and a neck, and I'm going to make it really wet here, really wet, because this is what we're trying to prove. It actually looks a bit like a Teletubby in a funny sort of way. And then I'm going to do really wet with this blue. The paints are just really cheap. I think in America you call them dime store paints. Here we just call them very cheap. And it's just a different colour, this. But I'm making it really wet because I want the paper to ruckle like crazy, to show you, what we can achieve. And I think you can maybe see it is ruckling here now already. Oops, I'm mixing the wrong colours. But it doesn't matter, I'm just kind of doing this to show what we can achieve. You can see here that the paper, there you can really see that the paper is ruckling up really badly. And I'm going to leave it to dry on its own naturally, because this is very thin paper, and I think if I get the hairdryer on there it's going to tear, because it's going to dry far too quickly. It might tear all the same. We'll see how it goes. I got bored waiting for this one, and I did use the hairdryer on it, and it pulled the glue away, so I had to do a quick emergency there. So this is not going to be quite as perfect. But this is really cheap photocopy paper, and I think you will be impressed. It's not. You can see here, it's still a little damp, but you can see it's not ruffled up like the other one was. There's a few little ruffles there because it's still probably a bit damp. So here we are, look, you can see, I think this is all really wrinkled. This is the first one I did. And this one here is the stretched one. And I think you can see that that's all ready to put in a presentation picture. And this is really cheap photocopy paper, so the better you use, the better the finish you'll get. But if you want to have nice flat artwork and enjoy your watercolour, get some paper tape from any old art shop and get stretching. You might need to practice once or twice to get it right, but you'll get it right in the end. But now you know how to do it. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and if you did, go and see my Watercolour 101 video to get you started, or see a real pro in action, see my Alex Brichter interview, or just have a go at the mystery drawing. Either way, make sure you're subscribed and keep coming back for more drawing lessons and advice. And in the meantime, keep drawing, practice, and I'll see you next time. You take care now. Bye-bye.